What is going on, my fly guys? Welcome as we return back with another video, and today, we're back with another Verlisify rant video. Hopefully this doesn't go on for too long since he kept that video short and sweet and to the point, but there's obvious reasons why I have to do this. One, well, because I wanted to see his argument. Now, I know what you guys are thinking, why make another one of his videos? You know he's toxic, yada yada yada. He's just printing money. You're printing money for him by watching his videos. Well, I want to see his argument, one. And two, people know he's wrong, obviously, if you play the meta and whatever. But do you know why he's wrong? And I'm here to show, like, you guys, like, I'm gonna disprove all of his, like, theories, quote unquote, I guess. But yeah, so we're just gonna hop right into the video. And so
this video just feels weird to me. I feel like the Arena Trap ban, that's it.
oh yeah, if you guys didn't know, Arena Trap got banned, not just Doug Trio, which we're gonna keep that's important for later.
Smogon's dead, done. I know they've been a joke for many years now, but this is like, it's over. There's really no reason to talk about Smogon or acknowledge Smogon ever again.
Saying they're
That's
dead,
why I'm doing
but
the face cam.
I'll
You know, I
show
have
you
the
guys
face
later
cam,
because
kind of like what I did in my original Smogon video, because I think like this is it. Smogon. There's really no point to caring about Smogon anymore, and this probably will be my last Smogon video, unless they do something
quote unquote
completely
they even
ridiculous.
said in the comment
but here's
section
how it
he
stands,
laughed at
you know,
it.
I haven't paid attention to most of the decisions, bans, and suspect texts,
which tells you he does not know the meta well at all. Now, obviously, that's going to come into effect on his opinion on it. If he doesn't know the meta, why does he have a right to say anything? Exactly.
and all the weird stuff going on. Like, hey, did you know they tried to suspect test Doug Trio back in February?
Yes,
and I feel
they
a lot
did,
of people
because
are the
of Arena
same
Trap.
way. Like, there's a lot of decisions that people aren't even, like, notifying me about anymore. All these bans, all these weird things that are happening. And as it stands, you know, Smogon is almost impossible to keep up with right now, you know? I remember back in the 4th generation, oh, they banned Garchomp, oh, Evasion's banned, that's stupid. But now, they're whenever you get introduced to Smogon, it's just going to be a list rattling off all these things you can't do in the game of Pokemon, and that the only reaction you can have at that point is just, that's stupid, why would I want to play this? So I feel that Smogon...
because they want to play a balanced meta. Now, okay. Now, obviously, it's going to drop some controversy with that quote as a quote-unquote balanced meta when they're obviously banning all this stuff. But there's good reason to, and they can retest if something, like if a meta shift happens and it's like, oh, wait, this doesn't seem as broken anymore. Let's retest it. And they can do that. So this ban is permanent for now, yes. And it's at the end of Sun and Moon, yes. But it can be back maybe sometime in U Sun or U Moon.
Smogon has put so many restrictions in the game, so many limitations, so many stupid bans that don't make any sense at all that, you know, I think they've put themselves in obscurity. That really, it used to be a problem. Like, so many people played Smogon, so many people were into that scene.
And they still do.
If you wanted to play Pokemon and you wanted to play traditional rules versus a Smogon player, there would be a fight. There would be an argument, and you would get bullied by the Smogon player.
Okay, that is not always true. If someone came up to me and said, you want to battle? Yes, I would ask if it's like Smogon rules or not, because I play Smogon rules, obviously. But if they say no Smogon rules, that would kind of be cool for me, because I get to use a mon that was banned in the metagame, and I could show off like its quote unquote brokenness, like Eevee Pass or whatever. Like, I'll be happy to do that. But if they do play Smogon, cool. If they don't, like, yeah, he's saying that people like they're bullying into it. I covered this in the last one, but no, only a few like people do that in the community. He's acting like it's the whole community. Like, a lot of people would not mind and not bully people into it. They might say, oh, no thanks or whatever, but it's just like something to point out that he's only pointing out a small portion of the community. Even like casual players or casual competitive, there's those guys too who would bully Smogon players into it, whatever. It's like there's always going to be those toxic players in a community. That's just how it happens.
At this point, you can just laugh it off, and it feels like Smogon doesn't have a grasp on the community more. It feels like their weight is gone, and that's why it's like, all right, what do I do about this video? Now if I don't criticize the ban, people will go say, well, Doug Trio's the most broken Pokemon ever.
No, a lot of people agree that it's not broken. It's the ability that's broken. The ability is what carries it to do. And I couldn't find it. I tried looking, but there was this post on the viability rankings in OU, which we'll get into later. And because it's OU, it's always, there's like a page a day or something like that. But there was like someone who wanted to nominate Doug Trio for S rank in the viability rankings, and the viability rankings, of course, go S, A plus, or S, A plus, A minus, B plus, etc. But the person that said no, like everybody agreed that Dugtrio should not be ranked S because it is not a meta-defying Pokemon. Yes, then why ban it? It's because of its ability, what it's capable of doing. Dugtrio itself is not a good Pokemon. 100 attack, that's completely average. 120 speed, yes, that's really good, but like there's some better stuff out there, and it's just the ability to trap and kill a Pokemon or hinder a Pokemon for the entire match. Yes, you could say like Amoonguss did that to Breloom, but no, Dugtrio literally makes it so you can't use, like, you have to play carefully, especially with the strategy that I will get into later.
So that means, it needs to be banned right now. But I mean, if we look at this right here, in order to fully examine Arena Trap's place in the current metagame, well, there's Smogon's first problem. Everything's about the current metagame.
Yes, it's on the current metagame that's a problem. It was a problem in basically it wasn't like it. Okay, let me just get this out of the way. I would have voted no ban for Dugtrio if I laddered, but I did not have the time to. I was busy laddering in RU, which I didn't get because I did not have enough time to even do that. I got close, but ran out of time. But Dugtrio did the same thing in every single metagame that it was in. It would trap and kill, basically. That's what it does. And it's just like a Pokemon that you have to play smart around. People have found strategies that exploits it to the point of like, this is the strategy that I'll go into later. But like, let's just continue on.
They never give any time for the metagame to change, and they never.
Because the metagame is constantly evolving. Yes, it's the current meta, but that meta will stay somewhat the same. The metagame has shifted considerably with the months going on and whatnot. If you take a look at ThunderBlender777, I'll try to remember to link his channel in the description, but he has a little series going on where he goes over the current metagame and how it's evolving and changing every few months or whatever. Like Aurora Veil has moved up to OU, not Aurora Veil itself, but Alolan Ninetales has risen up in popularity as the preferred Hyper Offense style over Webs. Webs has fallen off slightly, but it's still there. There's spike stacking. There's it's just a constantly changing metagame and constant meta trends or whatever. So with that, it's not just a current metagame where they won't let it evolve. No, this would be a problem for every single metagame as it has been. But again, I still would have voted no ban because I like my man's Dugtrio. And yes, you have to play the game a lot differently, but that's how trapping works. You can't let your Psychic type get pursued. You can't let your Steel type get trapped by Magnezone. But what Dugtrio did for its partners and what it did for Sol is unmatched to those other two. So I personally, I'm not going to make a rant video like, oh my god, they banned Arena Trap, how could they? That was my favorite playstyle. I might do that with Veil, but, in RU. But, I see where they're coming from on both sides of the spectrum. Yeah, I'm on that side that wanted to keep it, but I totally agree why they wanted to get rid of it. I see where it was problematic and whatnot.
And it's in their philosophy. I've done a video covering the Smogon philosophy that the players refuse change. We've seen this with all the bans.
I disproved that, by the way.
Up to this point, it cannot be argued right now that players do not want to change. They do not want to adapt in the Smogon metagame. So pretty much whenever the metagame starts to shift, they ban something to push it right back.
Again, I disproved that.
Into its nice little condensed over centralized box that all the Smogon players just love to play, and people that are actually good at Pokemon stay outside of because there's no skill required in Smogon anymore.
Again, untrue. You have to know what you're doing. Pokemon, I like to compare it to a game of chess. You always have to be one step ahead of your opponent, if you know what I mean.
Whenever anything that takes thought to break, whenever you have to play around something, gets banned.
You know what, of course, it's like chess, like I said. You need to
think. So, looks like that people were throwing Dugtrio into Arena Trap because apparently Diglett was working. Because Smogon players are so bad, they're losing to Diglett. So Arena Trap had to be banned in its entirety.
Okay, he's the one that's trying to say they can't think outside the box. When the Dugtrio suspect happened, people were still finding success with Diglett because Diglett essentially did the same thing Dugtrio did, which is why they banned Arena Trap and not just Dugtrio. Diglett still took care of the things with a Focus Dash set. It would still come in and revenge kill a Heatran and get rid of it. That's the big thing about Dugtrio. You can't bring in a Pokemon that's weak to it until it's gone, or you could take it out, which is probably, or outspeed it, revenge kill, well, not really revenge kill, because Dugtrio's immense speed and its immediate power, while average, it could still, like, with rocks up, if you weaken a Pokemon enough, of course it can be defeated, or you could kill it. But the thing with Diglett is, it essentially did the same thing. It still came in and trapped. Even though, like, its bulk is terrible, you could use a Focus Sash Diglett and get away with killing something, like, eliminating, like, a Mega Diancie, a Heatran, a Tyranitar, with enough chip damage. Like, it's a weaker Dugtrio, which essentially that's what evolution is. And he's saying that the Smogon community is so bad they lose to Diglett. One, that's disproving his whole philosophy on his channel, where you have to learn how to use other Pokemon. There's not just OU. Yes, the Diglett worked the same way as Dugtrio did, just a little weaker. Well, not a little, a lot weaker, but it still essentially did the same exact thing. It filled the same role on stall, same role on, like, offensive teams. Like, it just did the same thing.
I don't remember where it was. Yeah, Dugtrio-less teams, because it can easily trap Pokemon like Heatran and Dugtrio. So Diglett is a viable option.
It is. Or
like,
was.
Dugtrio just got, like, a buff to its attack, you know, plus 20 to the attack, and now all of a sudden it's like, oh, we need to ban it because people are running in stall teams. So there's this thing called wall breaking. And whenever you're running stall, you know, you're very susceptible to taunt, you're very susceptible to status, phasing, stall
He's
breaking.
not
There's
wrong.
Pokemon that are built around this. So you use Dugtrio to kind of counter those out. That means your stalling team needs help. You're doing some tech to make that stalling team better. Well, now the people that don't want to face stall, instead of actually having to work around...
Dugtrio was just not on stall. It was on offensive teams. It was on balance. Dugtrio worked on a lot of playstyles because you just eliminated the threat to your team.
Trio plus stall, they just banned Dugtrio. Like, you look at Shadow Tag, and Smogon is just this lame format of switching to switch and switch and switch, and when something comes in that doesn't let you switch and let you go for that advantage because
they still have Pursuit, they still have Magnet Pull. Like, those, it just impact Dugtrio had with trapping what it could trap in. Just come in after a kill and essentially kill a Pokemon every time it comes in, since they can't switch. Yes, there's Shed Shell, and I'm not going to say that wasn't a non-viable item, because there was a reason people ran it. That's the reason, like, one time, like, Mega Charizard Y was the best Mega in the tier of OU. But then, once Shed Shell Toxapex caught on, because Dugtrio was there paired with Zard Y to take out things that beat Zard Y, like Toxapex, once that caught on, Charizard dropped in viability rankings, and that's what it worked. So it was a viable item to preserve your Pokemon, but it's just, again, that's another thing with the growth of a meta game.
they're trying to build advantage of their own, then that means you just gotta ban it. And then further looking into the silliness of this whole decision, it feels like all it is buzzwords. That the Smogon players, they have no skill, they can't think for themselves, so all they do is they hear buzzwords. Right. Over-centralizing, I gotta ban it, you know?
Wasn't over-centralizing. Actually, let me pause the video real quick. Alright, so it was a top 10 Pokemon, but yeah, there's Pokemon like Lando, which is on 39% of teams. That's kind of over-centralizing, but it's not broken. It just fulfills a lot of roles on teams. But it was down here, number 10, which that's still ridiculous. But as you can see, there's other Pokemon like Heatran, Celesteela, Toxapex, Ferrothorn, Ashgren, Zygarde, Koko. Like all those have a lot more usage than Dugtrio. So I don't know what he means by over-centralizing. Anyway, let's get back to it.
It's all Pavlovian responses, it feels. That they just start picking OUs out of a hat and then, oh, that means bad.
If he played the meta, he would understand. Like, I don't play OU too much, but I have enough understanding of it.
That means, this
like, I'm at 1600 on the ladder, so
needs to be
I like to
right?
say I have a good idea of what's going on.
I think we can see that right here. No. For example, stall teams can get rid of problematic Pokemon such as Heatran, Tapu Lele, Tyranitar,
top tier threats,
and many more with the help of Dugtrio's Arena Trap. But Dugtrio doesn't come in and counter those Pokemon.
No, okay.
Except for maybe Heatran, because it's frail. Like Tapu Lele, you
Are you ready for this? This was the strategy that I was pointing out. So, here's a Pokegame video. And as you can see, he has Dugtrio and a bulky water, as does his opponent. But what this does is, so you see Mega Diancie here. You could see, Diancie completely wrecks his team. But Dugtrio is holding it down, like, because he can't bring it in because of all of these, because Dugtrio just comes in after it gets a kill. Does he say
Very
anything?
annoying.
And you see eject button now. I'll get into that. That's what this is about.
Thank you, friend. Appreciate that. Celesteela 1v1s, like, all of this and this We're gonna lead off with Celestia because it actually 1v1s the entire team.
Come on, Aim. Say
Very, very easily.
Come on. Oh,
I have to try and revenge kill this Dougie, I think. That's going to be tough. Celestia is the only one that doesn't get trapped. And also stall the turn of Sun. Yeah, he does lead off a Charizard, which is his best play, always.
Come on, Aim.
But we will protect here, always.
Alright, I'll pause until I find what I'm looking for. But it's around this time. Okay, so, yeah, I was like a minute off. So he's got to go
He didn't,
Pex.
though, thankfully. Nice. So that's nice. I get to bring in my...
He brings in Diancie here.
My
Because,
Diancie,
like, that's how you
and
beat
he's
Charizard.
definitely going Tapu Fini.
So-
Like, always going Tapu Fini right here. You should always go Tapu Fini.
So, yeah, he has to go Tapu
So
Fini,
what I
so
want
he
to
can't
do is
Mega Evolve Diancie and get this Zard out of the way.
bring in Bulu. Tangrowth is fine as well.
Tangrowth also
Tangrowth is fine
works,
as well.
but to scout for the move. But what that does is, so basically you would go into a bulky, so Dugtrio plus bulky water with eject button. So what that does is, like for Pokemon like Mega Diancie, they throw off a Moonblast, or they throw off like Power Gem or Diamond Storm against a Charizard, right? Like that threatens it out. You would go into the bulky water there, and then you would, the eject button would activate because you live it, because obviously you're a bulky water. You would bring in Dugtrio and then trap and kill a Mon. And then that Mon is essentially gone, so he can't use Diancie for the rest of the game because it's trapped and gone. He has to reserve it because it beats the entire team bar Dugtrio. So let's see, does he say that anywhere?
Yeah, definitely fine. And which is SD up.
Okay, so I couldn't find, but you saw what I like. That's another thing. Meta growth, not meta growth, but meta growth. Like it showed the growth in the meta. It showed strategy. It showed that you had to actually think about that. You know? So yeah,
Can't one-shot
that's how Dugtrio would get in and kill all those Mons.
it on an Earthquake. You know, Dugtrio, it doesn't want...
Actually, let me just look up a damage calc. And yes, it has the Z move to OHKO a bunch of those Pokemon. So let's pull up Dugtrio, random Z Trapper. Let's pull up Tyranitar. So Earthquake, it dies after rocks basically in a spike. Like it does so much. Like it does a lot of damage. Yes, you need like rocks and a spike, but if you like force it out, like Stone Edge does kill with Bandit, obviously because Dougie's frail, but you only need a little bit of chip, just a tiny bit of chip on it, and then you revenge kill and kill Tyranitar. So yeah, let's continue on.
One-shot Tyranitar on an Earthquake, and they get two-shot in return. So that means you have to lose a Pokemon. You have to be at a
You don't have to lose a Pokemon because you have that bulky water eject button, like I was talking about.
situation, or make an amazing switch-in play to actually bring in the Dugtrio, and then if they already have Stealth Rocks up, if they have Entry Hazards, then your Focus Sash breaks, and now you're like
You're not
super
always
mega
Sash.
screwed.
Sash can
what
be
Dugtrio's
used, yes.
doing is it's running Z Earthquake, and then having one-hit KO potential on
Exactly.
a lot of Pokemon right now. So yeah, that makes sense, but then they even use Focus Sash. That, okay, we have Focus Sash, we have Z moves, and now it's Smogon just pulling things out of the air. Like, oh, right, we have a Focus Sashed Z move Dugtrio with
It's the
7 different
possibility.
moves on its move.
7 different moves. All right, that's another thing I wanted to talk about. Let's look at the damage calculator. Sub, Toxic, Earthquake. Wow, 7 different moves. I mean, this is Screech right here, by the way, because Dugtrio only needs Earthquake. Like, Sub, Toxic can be used as Toxic Stall a Chansey because you could trap and KO a Chansey with this. But yeah, 7 different moves when you only need Earthquake for that ground trapping capabilities. So yeah, I just wanted to point that out too.
Moveset. Therefore, it's too strong. Therefore, we need to ban it. Same thing as
Nope.
Greninja. So I feel like
And Greninja is still in this meta, and it's not even an S rank mon on the viability rankings. It hasn't been banned. It was banned last gen, yes, for good reason. Again, I didn't disagree. I disagreed with that, but I see where they were coming from.
with the last ban decision video I did on Smogon, I can't remember what it is anymore because they're banning so many things.
Wow, huh?
That really, they just keep throwing everything into the pot. They know what
It's the
terminology to
possibility.
use to get something banned, and they just throw it in there, whether or not it makes sense. And this makes no sense.
And if you know the
whatsoever.
team, or if you
And
could
just to
read,
kinda, like,
if you
wrap
have
this-
any skill at all, and you could team read, which like see what they have at team preview and guess all the sets on anything, you could guess what it is. Also, if someone's using a renowned team, you could guess what that team is. It's not like, oh, it's an endless possibilities. What could he be running? No, if you're smart and you have skill, which a lot of players do, especially on the higher ladder, you could break down what their team is at team preview, which a lot of players can do.
This up because I don't want to be long about it. It's like when you think about like, okay, Dugtrio's banned, Trapincha's banned, Diglett's banned. They see Diglett as a threat. So it seems like they're doing a
'Cause
really good
Diglett
job
works-
at proving the
I
point
already
that
went
real
over that.
Pokemon is very scary to play for them. Therefore, they just can't handle it. I think
Mhm.
with all these decisions,
True.
yeah,
Yeah,
there's no
definitely.
point. You know, it's impossible to keep up with all the bans. It's impossible to care about where the meta
Not if you actually follow the meta.
going and what Smogon's doing anymore. So if someone's like, no, I only play Smogon, then you can legitimately just laugh at them and then walk off and play some official rules somewhere.
All right, now I was thinking about saying this, but the mature self doesn't want to. I'll say it, but like not quote unquote mean it, if you know what I mean. So he's obviously telling people like to insult Smogon players, like you have a legit reason to make fun of them or whatever. But you know, I suppressed that. Of course, I didn't by saying it, but
Or else,
you know what
like
I mean.
it doesn't have as much of a grip on the community, and I think that that's a really good thing right now. And then just kind of like laugh at Smogon some more. Pokemon actually banned by Smogon: Eevee, Bidoof, Trapinch, Wobbuffet, Gothita. Yeah, that's really silly. Now people say, oh, Bidoof isn't banned by name, or Eevee isn't banned by name, but the Baton Pass is banned by name. So because of that,
Let me just let him finish
Baton
this.
Pass. That's one of the best ways of running Eevee, and when you see an Eevee, it's going to be obvious what it does. So that's banned. So Eevee's banned. Bidoof has Moody. Moody's banned because it has a chance to raise evasion.
Sharply
Smogon is
raised.
still against evasion.
It's
That's
just
a chance to raise
if you've
evasion.
ever played with
It's just
Moody
that
Mons,
bad.
you'll see.
Trapinch, it's got Arena Trap, so you gotta get rid of it. Wobbuffet, that's got Shadow Tag. Gothita.
All right, so let me just bring that back because I wanted to see the list. So yeah, you want to know why Eevee's banned? Oh shit. Oh well. Oh shit. Oh shit. My bad. Well, let's reset this. So yeah, here we go. This is against Magearna. Now Magearna beats the Baton Pass receivers in Espeon and Crocodile. Obviously you saw it didn't, but that's why I was showing this replay in the first place. So the strategy is simple. Here's like the team itself if you want to see it. It's the infamous Evo Pass. Yes. So you have Focus Sash Mew with those moves. You have the Eevee with the Eevee Pass. You have the Espeon with these two receivers. Steel Arceus and Scarf Ditto. Also gives alternate moves. But basically you lead Mew. You Tailwind up so Eevee can outspeed afterwards. You have Sash. Now you could Boom to get yourself out of there. Right? You could Gravity because you see that they have like a Magearna. Gravity ensures that Sing on Eevee will hit, so you explode to get out of there. And now you still outspeed everything because of the Tailwind. You could do the Extreme Evo Boost, right? This is in Ubers too, and you don't really see any Ubermon besides Steel Arceus. So it lived that, and Magearna comes in. Now you Sing because the Gravity's there, and you never miss with Gravity Sing. And now you get a free pass into Crocodile. Now you might say Magearna beats Crocodile. Well, not really, but he uses a Dark move and it Okos. A bulky Magearna gets the Moxie boost and proceeds to just power trip away, which is why Crocodile is one of the best receivers. And it gets stronger and stronger because of the Moxie boosts. So yada yada yada. Yeah, you see where this is going. Let me actually. That's another thing I wanted to pull up. My bad. Is that a Scarf Crook? Ah, it's Banded Crook. Yeah, with the damage output. So yeah, GG. And here's another one with the Espeon receiving it. So you see Dugtrio, you see a bunch of these Ubermons, and then this team, which doesn't even look like an Uber's team to begin with, but bar the Arceus. Water Spell. That's why you're Sash Mew, because you get up the Tailwind, and if you can, you could get off the Sing, or the Gravity rather, which Mew just booms. It was intimidated, still boomed by Mew. And now Eevee comes in, and you basically just do your thing, Extreme Evo Boost. This is a Xerneas and Fairy Aura, by the way, that's coming out here. So he's also going for the Geomancy this turn, which you bring in Espeon. It has all these boosts already, it has stored power. It can Calm Mind to take these hits, because Espeon does have decent Spit F. And yes, so Moonblast, it doesn't drop the special attack, but it didn't matter because now you stored power away. Arceus with extreme speed, even with frail Espeon, because of that Baton Pass boost, that's gone. Oh, Dugtrio, it's Sucker Punch. You played around with the Morning Sun, and you heal up. Now Sucker Punch can't even kill you, and you lost a mind game anyway. Gone. And yeah, that's game. So that's why Eevee is banned. What else was there? Bidoof, obviously with Simple, you could see how that could get out of hand, especially with Glalie into Mega Glalie. Trapinch, all these Pokemon, yes, he said that they aren't banned bar save, but they're most viable strategy, which plays with RNG a little too much, or takes little skill with the EV boost. Trapinch, I do have a nice Trapinch team I had in RE, which is now invalidated, but Arena Trap, of course, like, you could see why. Shadow Tag is ridiculous. Last gen, you should have seen it. Imagine Chandelure with that. There's a reason they got rid of it.
So you gotta get rid of it. Wobbuffet, that's got Shadow Tag. Gothita, that's got Shadow Tag. And then I was also looking at like overused. Apparently, if you see a Pokemon in 1 in 20 battles, that counts as overused.
Yeah, it has to have 3.41 usage.
It just doesn't make any sense. I don't understand why anyone plays them. Except I can also understand that like bad
Tears are actually really fun. They're my favorite part of Smogon by far.
Players that think that Pokemon
because it shows other metagames. If you get bored of one metagame, you could go into the other ones with the quote-unquote suboptimal mons.
Too complex and they don't want to worry about anything. You know, they want to play the same 6 to 8 Pokemon
which is OU,
against the same 6 to 8 Pokemon.
But my favorite tier, as you guys know, is RU. I have more games into that than anybody I know.
Running, yeah. I don't know if you can call it Pokemon at that point, but
if you see the same Pokemon over and over again, you ready for this? We have something called the viability rankings, and now they're not just all OU Pokemon. As you could see, of course, the upper tier mons will be because they're the most spammed for good reason. But let's see, where's the first non-OU mon? Of course, it's going to be a little bit down, but not too much because... There we go. Gyarados is a B+. It's not OU. It's borderline. Kingdra. Kingdra just recently rose to OU, and it was borderline 3, which is banned from NU and not RU by usage. So there we go. Mantine's up there. Suicune is up there. They're encouraging you to use these mons. Alomomola, Gastrodon, Latios, Mamo, Mimikyu, Reuniclus, which got banned from RU a little while ago. They're saying these mons are good in the metagame. B-, there's Zam, there's Mega Camerupt. Now, you probably would not have thought that, but yes, Mega Camerupt is up here. They're encouraging you to use it. It's in B- on the viability rankings. That's pretty good for what Mega Camerupt's name has been for like the past generation. But because of its typing and its zero switch-ins, like it's one of the best Magearna counters, especially since Magearna usually only runs Bolt Beam on offensive sets. So yes, they're definitely not encouraging you to use any of these other mons when they have them on the viability rankings. They also have analysi on their website for all these Pokemon if they are ranked on the viability rankings. Now, these aren't just paper cut, like you should only use the top 6. Obviously, if they have this list, you can make teams work with them. Rain is a legit strategy. Like they do have stuff in C, which may not be like the best Pokemon to use, but they still have their place in the metagame. Like Mega Altaria, Shandy. Shandy is probably going to go up because it's one of the best Zard Y counters. Well, actually, maybe not anymore because Dugtrio got banned. But Kofag's up there. Ditto, Mega Chomp, Mega Vor, Quagsire, Nidoking, Ments. Like, all these mons are here. Yes, they're not OU by usage, but they have their place in the metagame. Again, if we keep going down, like, you see all these mons that you would not think to use. Araquanid is here because of its place on rain teams and how it's a really good Ash Grand counter. Conk is here because of Veil. I could see this going up, of course, and Polion. Like, all of these Pokemon are here. They are not OU by usage, but they're good enough to be on the viability rankings, which they're encouraging you to use. So it's not the same Pokemon you see over and over again.
So it looks like, Pokemon changed a lot in the 6th generation, changed a lot in the 7th generation as well, and this Smogon mentality completely fell apart. That they could have either tried to reformat, because Evasion's still banned, even though we have Z moves, which...
I covered Evasion in the other video, but yeah, Z moves, yes, they don't miss, well, offensive ones, but you can see how Evasion is busted. Obviously, I don't have to go into detail about it. If you really want to know, go check the other video.
Minimize, and then we also have a viable no-miss move. Like
viable, quote-unquote. He's going to be talking about Smart Strike, of course. But, you see, that's only 70 base power. And yes, only a few Pokemon get it. And Kartana is the best one, of course, using it. Because it does not have another Steel Stab. So, yes.
The Smart Strike. So Smart Strike, people are like, oh, I don't want to use 60 base power, that's terrible, but Smart Strike Kartana just shreds through Evasion. Like, if anything, Evasion wasn't even bad. Like, back in 4th, 5th,
okay, he also covers Sleep Claws, which I covered.
They're just, like, doubling down. I think at this point, they've, like, quadrupled down, Because people are like, oh, this Pokemon's so powerful because it's an OU, and anything outside of...
Of course, that's not really how it works if they have, like, all them on the viability rankings or whatnot. Of course, OU, it means they're the most spammed on the ladder because they have that 3.41 usage, but that doesn't mean they're the best. Like, a good player knows that, like, these Pokemon have their place in the metagame. I have an alert. But yes, like of course Halucha, it recently rose to OU. It was BL2, then UU, and now it rose up to OU because of the usage, because of Aurora Veil. But yes,
of OU is weak.
I mean Rain.
It's usage. If Pokemon is in less than 1 in 20 battles 50% of the time, which is a weird stat, you know, more than 50% likely to encounter Pokemon in the last 20 battles. It seems like everything about Smogon is arbitrary.
Okay, so again, I covered that, but I just want to reassure. That just means it's OU. Doesn't mean if it's not OU, it's unviable, which is a common mistake by people unfamiliar with the format, which it's understandable. But usage stats are where I X'd it out. But like that shows what the current team building is. Like you guys see what I'm saying. I can't put it out in the words because I've already covered it and whatever, but if it's OU, yes, that means it has the most usage, but doesn't mean it's the most viable.
They hide behind vagueness, and they use that for ban decision. They use that for strength. They use that for all this
Not
arbitrary
at all
determination that they make throughout their community, and all the just dumb people in Smogon believe it.
All right. Also, like he's just using Smogtards as an insult
because they can't think for themselves. So when you look at it, it's like, yeah, it's like, oh man, this Pokemon's too good because it's OU, or this Pokemon's bad because it's not an OU.
That's not at all. Yeah, that's another thing. It's the same thing, but it's another thing. If it's bad, if it's not an OU. Obviously not if they have all those things on the viability rankings and whatnot.
Even though it could be a very powerful, very strong Pokemon.
Yes,
you know,
it is. Like, there's definitely Pokemon in lower tiers that work in OU, like Reuniclus, for example.
I don't even know what else I can say that I haven't said in my other videos about Smogon.
Quagsire
it's just weird,
works
you know?
in
It's
all
like,
tiers that it's available in.
I guess it's over. We don't have to worry about Smogon anymore.
Go on.
Cool. Like
Why can't?
It's one of those things that, you know, I didn't really expect to be saying that. I didn't really expect Smogon to be dead, even after all these years of making videos. Even
he says Smogon is dead. Now, of course, if we go to Smogon on Bulbapedia here, which is not owned by Smogon, and it's been around since 2004, but they have a Discord server. Okay, forums. As of January 5th, 2017, over 284,000 active members and 138,500 plus open discussions. So yeah, they're definitely dead with those big numbers.
For trying to push for,
and
like,
if you go to their
Pokemon
main server,
play.
you could see.
There's still a lot of other Pokemon problems with Pokemon. You know, VGC.
You go to Pokemon
corruption of the
Showdown.
Pokemon
Yes, I have
Company,
them running in the
all
back.
The hacking and stuff going on.
But
This
if we
like
go
one
to
of the
their
biggest
main
problems that
server,
seem to have just kind of faded out
yeah,
quietly.
you see
that,
that number,
they just keep, like,
13,410
that crazy person in the
active
corner that
users
everyone just kind of
online
eventually ignores because they start spouting
at this
so much
time, which is
nonsense.
4:47 p.m. Eastern time.
You just tuned it out. Well, that's what Smogon has kind of fallen to.
So
Hopefully, it doesn't pick
yeah,
back
he
up
basically
and
just sums up like, oh, this is my last Smogon video. But yeah, I just wanted to show that I disproved all of his theories. Like, of course, like people are saying that he does this just for views, which I could see. But he's also spreading like lies about the community that like I want to disprove. Oh my, I meant to hit this, but I keep missing. But yeah, so I just wanted to sum that up. And people like what, if you hate Verlisify so much, why do you follow him? I want to see his argument. I want to disprove his theories. Because that's always fun to do. But yeah, so if we want to take a look into the comments, we could see stupid stuff. They knew Roar and U-turn are a thing. Now, of course, I rebelled back, unless he deleted my comment, which looked like he did. Awesome. Basically, my comment was, if I don't see it, alright, it was, obviously you don't know the current metagame, or something along the lines of that. So yeah, I'm just going to end the video off here. It's been long enough. It's been 30 plus minutes, which it's a 10-minute video that I didn't even fully watch while analyzing. But yeah, I covered all of what I wanted to do. I covered the replay, covered the viability rankings, this video, usage stats. Oh, I did have it up. Oops. But yeah, like, what's here? Ductriolola. Oh wait, yeah. But yeah, I'm gonna end it off here. So sorry if you guys didn't want to see this. You can click away. I don't really care. But thank you guys so much for watching. And I'm not even gonna do a Pokemino post because there's no need to on this type of video. It was more of a serious video, not a joking video per se. Because yeah. Anyway, so be sure, you guys, most importantly, stay fly.